Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Mandir, Shri Vrindavan Dham, with the flute from Janardhan. Yes. Śrīla Gurudeva ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Rūpānuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai, Patit Pavan Śrī Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Harinama Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. No, I did not. So we are beginning with Mangalacharan. It is page 1 of this beautiful book, Shri Gauriya Giti Guccha. It's not a book, it is a bhajan treasure trove. And that begins with Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam, calling for the mercy, the grace, the presence, and the sidelong glances of our Gurudev, our Srila Prabhupada, all of our Guru Varga, Shri Nityananda Prabhu, Shri Sachinandan Gaura Hari, all the way back to the original Guru, who is Krishna himself, and his Guru of Prem, Srimati Radhika, Radhikar, Prema Guru, Ami Shishya Nata. Rudra Prabhu, Haribol, Radhe Radhe. He's fortunate to be in Vrindavan today. So we will begin with Mangalacharan. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavakscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitantam Sajivam Sadvetam Samadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunascha Yuktam Varam Varendyam Purusham Mahantam Nārayaṇam Tvam Shirashan Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanincha Shri Krishna Pada Janataika Hridi Chaitanya Lila Mrita Sarasar Nārayaṇam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedānta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaura Presthaya Bhutale Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Prajñā Keshavayati Namine Atīvardhaccharitrāya Svashritānaṁca Paline Jīvadūte Sadartāya Shri Nama Premadāyine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanami Devi दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमध्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदा श्री गौरः करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनतारिणे रूपानुगम्यनुभावो सिद्धान्तद्वन्द्वहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदं पूजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगम्बरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतोपङ्गो मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमः श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीलगोतदेव प्रेष्ठानि सेव्यमानुस्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशीवद्वत्ततस्थितः कर्षं वेणुस्वनैर्गो गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादाभक्तिनिर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलं खलो नास्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्ण। Jai Jai Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. By Vaishnava Das, that is page 29. Or you may refer to Jiva Pavana Prabhu's most recent post, which is just now coming. He posts the bhajans with the translations and followed by beautiful commentaries from our acharyas. So, page 29 by Vaishnava Das, Jai Jai Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. Isha Thakurani, Radhe Radhe. Guess what we found today? At the fruit shop, Nespola. We remembered all of you. We just offered some before this program began. They said they grow it in the north. Śrīla Gurudeva ki jai. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. Adbhuto Jako Adbhuto Jako Parakash Iya Yogeya Timiro Varo Gyan Iya Yogeya Timiro Suchandra Kirane Karuna Ihalochan Anandodha Ihalochan Anandodha Ojachito Moheno Patito Herijo Pahu Ojachito Moheno Patito Herijo Pahu Chachi Deyalo Harina Chachi Deyalo Harina Duramati Agati Shatatoya Satemati Duramati Agati Satatoya Satemati Nahi Sukriti Lavalesh Nahi Sukriti Lavalesh ताहे करोलो उपदेश ताहे करोलो उपदेश निरमल गौर प्रेम रस सिंचने निरमल गौर प्रेम रस सिंचने पूरलो जग जन आश पूरलो जग जन आश सोचरणाम्बुजे रति नाही होयलो सोचरणाम्बुजे रति नाही होयलो रोयतो वैष्णवदास रोयतो वैष्णवदास जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पतरु जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पतरु अद्भुत जाको परकाश अद्भुत जाको परकाश अद्भुत जाको परकाश अद्भुत जाको परकाश गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद गुरु परंपरा परंपरा गुरु परंपरा परंपरा गुरु परंपरा गुरु परंपरा गुरु परंपरा श्रील गुरुदेव की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय रूपानुग गौरी गुरुवर्ग की जय श्री गुरु परंपरा की जय A Barok Kurunakoro Vaishnava Goshai. Did we do that yesterday? No, we did Jayanila Premadhana. Page 44 by Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Vandava Pranama Vaishnavas. Eibaro karuna koro Vaishnava Goshai Eibaro karuna koro Vaishnava Goshai Patita
Kori asha charanero
Vaishnava Goshai Ebaro Koruna Koro Vaishnava Goshai Patitra Pavana Toma Bine Ke Hona Patitra Pavana Toma Bine Ke Hona Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Prabhu Kripa Koro More Doya Koro Prabhu Kripa Koro More Doya Koro Prabhu Kripa Koro More Doya Koro Prabhu Kripa Koro More Doya Koro. All Vaishnava Thakurs ki jai. Dandavat pranam. Amit Dandakar Swastika Dasi Radhe Radhe. Swastika Dasi, did you paint that painting yourself that you posted about some special kind of ancient painting? Was that your painting? Sudevi says it was. We like it. Very nice. Now we're going to call out. Huh? Oh. You see this painting in here? It says Śrī Radha. Swastika painted that one also. She's good at painting so many different styles. Very artistic. This one is pure Braj style. Okay. Yang Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata. I love that bhajan. Page 47 by Sri Madhav Das. There we have confirmation from her that she painted it, Sudevi.
I already knew she did.
Okay, I thought you thought she did.
No, she said thank you when I said it was beautiful.
Huh? Okay. Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī Pada Ki Jai. Did you post it yet? Page 47 by Sri Madhav Das, Yang Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata. 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 Tan Vraja Prema Mahanidhi Kutharika. Tan Vraja Prema Mahanidhi कृतक करितायत ओ सब त्याजी भजी वृंदावन ओ सब त्याजी भजी वृंदावन ओ सब ग्रंथ विरचित ओ सब ग्रंथ विरचित यं कलिरूप शरीर न भारत यं कलिरूप शरीर न भारत जब पितु वन फूलो फल नाना विध जब पितु वन फूलो फल नाना विध मनोराजी अरविंद मनोराजी अरविंद सोमधुकार विनु पान कोन जानो तो सोमधुकार विनु पान कोन जानो तो विद्यमान करि बंध विद्यमान करि बंध यं कलिरूप शरीर न धारत यं कलिरूप शरीर न धारत ओ जानत मथुरा वृंदावन ओ जानत मथुरा वृंदावन ओ जानत व्रजनीत ओ जानत व्रजनीत ओ जानत राधा माधवरती ओ जानत राधा माधवरती ओ जानत सोईदीत ओ जानत सोईदीत यं कलिरूप शरीर न धारत यं कलिरूप शरीर न धारत जाकर चरण प्रसादे सकल जन जाकर चरण प्रसादे सकल जन गाय गवाय सुख पावत गाय गवाय सुख पावत चरण कमले शरणागत माधो चरण कमले शरणागत माधो तव महिमा उरनागत तव महिमा उरनागत यं कलिरूप शरीर न धारत यं कलिरूप शरीर न धारत तन्द्रज प्रेम महानिधि प्रेम महानिधि कुठरित तन्व्रज प्रेम महानिधि कुठरित कौनकपात उघारत कौनकपात उघारत यङ्कनिरूप शरीर न धारत यङ्कनिरूप शरीर न धारत रूप गोस्वामी प्रभु रूप गोस्वामी प्रभु रूप गोस्वामी 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 प्रभु है 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 प्रभु है। श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जय। श्री सत गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। रूपानुग गौरी गुरुवर्ग की जय। Now we will call for the mercy, the grace, and the shelter of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. All the devotees, if you see here, Anandini Jagana, she's the one who started the Pure Cow Seva program, and she's present with us now. Dandavat Pranam. So, if anyone would like to help the Pure Cow Seva program, she's the main, her and her daughter, that she's the main person that all of that is running through. So, thank you for that. Page 64, Jai Jai Nityananda, Rohini Kumar by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumaro Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumaro ধারো লাগি দুবাহু পসারো পতিত ধারো লাগি দুবাহু পসারো গদ গদ মধুর মধুর याधो बोल गद गद मधुर मधुर याधो बोल जारे देखे तारे प्रेमे धोरी दे जारे देखे तारे प्रेमे धोरी दे दगमग लोचन भूरये निरंतर दगमग लोचन सोनारो कोमले जेनो फिरये भ्रमरो सोनारो कोमले जेनो फिरये भ्रमरो गोयारो ठाकुरो जाने दोयारो ठाकुरो निताय पर दुख जाने हरि नामे माला गाथी दिलो जग जाने हरि नाम माला गाथी दिलो जग जाने पापी पाषण्डी जतो करिलो दलन पापी पाषण्डी जतो करिलो दीनहीन जने कइला प्रेम वितरण दीनहीन जने कइला प्रेम वितरण आहारे गौरांग आहारे गौरांग बोले परे भूमि Sudevi frozen शरीर भिजिलो निताय नयनेर जले शरीर भिजिलो निताय नयनेर जले वृंदावनो दासो बिचारिलो वृंदावनो दासो मने बिचारिलो धरणी ऊपरे किबा सुमेरु निताई है, निताई है, निताई है, निताई है, निताई है। जयो निताई गौरांगो, निताई गौरांगो, निताई गौरांगो, निताई गौरांगो, निताई गौरांग जय, निताई गौरांगो, निताई गौरांग जय, निताई गौरांगो। पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम शचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। दंडवत प्रणाम और वैष्णव। सुंदर लाला सचिर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. It's in the Hindi section, somewhere around 365, or whatever Jiva Pavana Prabhu posts. It's 361. 361, Sundara Lala Sachira Dulala. श्री सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय. सुंदर लाला शचीर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. सुंदर लाला शचीर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. 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 सुंदर लाला शचिर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. सुंदर लाला शचिर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. भाले चंदन तिलक मनोहरो. भाले चंदन तिलक मनोहरो. अलका शोभे कपोलन में. अलका शोभे कपोलन में. सुंदर लाला शचिर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. सुंदर लाला शचिर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. शिरे चूरा दर्शनिराले. शिरे चूरा दर्शनिराले. वन्न फूल माला हिया परो दोले. वन फूल माला हिया पर दोले. पहिरन पीत पतांबर शोभे. पहिरन पीत पतांबर शोभे. नुपुरु झुनु चरणन में. नुपुरु झुनु चरणन में. सुंदर लाला शचिर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में. सुंदर लाला शचिर दुलाला नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में। कोई गावत है राधा कृष्ण नाम, कोई गावत है हरि गुण गान। कोई गावत है राधा कृष्ण नाम, कोई गावत है हरि गुण गान। मृदंग ताला मधुर रसाला, मृदंग ताला मधुर रसालो। कोई गावत है रंगन में, कोई गावत है रंगन में। सुंदर लाला सचिर दुलाला, नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में। सुंदर लाला सचिर दुलाला, नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में। नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में, नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में। नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में, नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में। सुंदर लाला सचिर दुलाला, नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में। सुंदर लाला सचिर दुलाला, नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में। शचीनंदन जय गौर हरि, शचीनंदन जय गौर हरि। जय शचीनंदन जय गौर हरि, शचीनंदन जय गौर हरि। गौर हे 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 गौर हे। श्री शचीनंदन गौर हरि की जय। हरे कृष्ण। We have been requested to sing Gopinath Mamani Vedana Shuno. 1 second. Radhe Radhe. I sent it to you on Messenger, but you're late. बाद में 8 बजे के बाद 5 बजे 8 बजे तक हम बिजी हैं, ठीक है? राधे राधे। Sometimes if you don't answer, they just keep calling again and again, so it's better to just take it. Gopinath Mamani Vedana Shuno. Except you didn't tell us which tune you wanted of Gopinath Mamani Vedana Shuno for your Gopinath. Page 130. There's the traditional Gaudiya tune. Then there's the older ISKCON tune, maybe Vishnu Jan Swami. Then there's the one that Chakrini did. And there's another one that Muni Mahārāja did. Sudevi, which version of Gopinath do you think that they're requesting? Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay. We've got 2 votes for the older one already. We'll do Chakrini's next time. Sudevi already told me. Gopina Haribol. I can't hear you, Sudevi. Dandavat Pranam Raghava. How are you feeling? I hope you're doing better. We're singing Gopinath Mamani Vedana Shuno. Gopinath Mamani Vedana Shuno. Vishai Durjana Sada Kamarato Kichu nahi mora guna Gopina Mama nivedana shuno Vishai Durjana Sada Kamarato Kichu nahi mora guna Gopina Amar bharasa tumi Tomar charane Loinu sharano Tomaro kinkaro ami Gopina Amaro bharasa tumi Tomaro charane Loinu sharano Tomaro kinkaro ami Gopina Kyamone shodhibe more Na jani bhakati Karme jaramati Orechi sansara ghore Gopina Kyamone shodhive more Na jani bhakati Karme jaramati Orechi sansara ghore Gopina Sakali tomaro maya Nahi mama bana Jnano sunirmalo Swadhino nahe kaya Gopina Sakali tomaro maya Nahi mama bala Jnano sunirmalo Swadhina nahe kayo Gopina Niyata charane sthano Mage pamoro Kadiya kadiya ko मागे पामारो कादिया कादिया करो हे करुणा दानो गोपीनाथ तुमी तो सकली पारो दुर्जने तारीते तुम्हारो शक्ति के आछे पापीर यारो गोपीनाथ तुमी तो सकली पारो दुर्जने तारीते तुम्हारो शक्ति के आछे पापीरो यारो गोपीनाथ तुमी कृपा पारो बारो जीवेरो कारणे आसिया प्रपंचे लीला कोइले सुविस्तारो गोपीनाथ तुमी कृपा पराबारो जीवेरो कारणे आसिया प्रपंचे लीला कोइले सुविस्तारो गोपीनाथ आमी की दोषेरो दोषी असुर सकालो पाहिलो चरणो विनोद थाकिलो गोशी गोपीनाथ आमी की दोषेरो दोषी असुर सकालो पाहिलो चरणो विनोद थाकिलो गोशी गोपीनाथ ओ गोपीनाथ ओ गोपीनाथ ओ गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथो 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 राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ श्री राधा गोपीनाथ जी की जय। As I was singing this and reading along, I was pondering over the very interesting fact that Gopinath is our Prayojan Thakur. Madan Mohan, Sambandha, relationship, Govinda, Abhideya, or relationship in practice. Sambandha means establishing the relationship. Abhideya means relationship within practice. And prayojan means the perfection of that relationship. And Gopinath is the Thakur, the deity of the perfection of the relationship, the goal, the end. And here Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is petitioning to Gopinath, Shriman Rasarasarambhi Vangshivata Tatastitaha Karshan Benu Svanair Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha. Who is Gopinath? He is that person who's in Vangshivat, sitting there alone, feeling, without you, Srimati Radhika, I cannot maintain my life. And on that full moon night of Sharad Purnima, seeing that beautiful reddish moon, he begins playing his flute with that call, calling Srimati Radhika through his flute song. And she comes running, and every other gopi who is also a manifestation of her moods of love and affection for Krishna, they also go running to Krishna. And ultimately he says to them, I have no way to repay you for your love and affection. In other words, they have conquered him. Therefore, Gopinath, although in one sense it means he is the Lord of the gopis, in this case we have seen that they have become victorious. Therefore, they are the Nath. He who's not, whose masters are the gopis. Just like Gopishwar Mahadev, you can say, oh, he's the Ishwar of the gopis, but no, it's the other way around. But it's interesting that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is revealing my heart, and you can check and see if it's your heart as well. I'm a wicked materialist, always addicted to worldly desires, and I possess no good qualities. I don't know what bhakti is. My materialistic mind is absorbed in mundane activities. I have fallen into a dark and perilous worldly existence. I have no strength nor spiritual knowledge. This body is not free from the control of material nature. So he's revealing all of these nitya baddha kind of conceptions. What is our situation? Sada kama rata. It doesn't say it in the translation, but here it says always addicted to worldly desires, but kama means full of lust. So he's revealing all of this to that highest, topmost personality. And then following that by a prayer that you are my only hope. I have taken shelter of your lotus feet. I'm weeping piteously and begging for an eternal place at your lotus feet. Bestow your mercy upon me. You are capable of everything. You have the power to deliver all wicked persons. Who else is there for this sinner? You are an ocean of mercy. And then he says, as his last petition on this part of the bhajan, it's actually a 3-part bhajan. How simple I am. Even all of the demons have attained your lotus feet, but I simply wait. So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is petitioning like this. Does anyone have an idea why he's petitioning to that transcendental personality who incites transcendental calm, who attracts all those gopis with transcendental calm? Why is Bhaktivinoda Thakur petitioning the highest aspect of Thakur, Prayojan Thakur, Gopinath, from such a position? Oh, nice. To Aprakat Kamdev, transcendental Gopinath, who's calling all of those gopis. Why is Bhaktivinoda Thakur praying to that aspect? We don't have a, the Zoom spontaneous conversation. So, what is the cure for the disease of mundane lust? Here he's saying, Sada Kama Rata. I am full of so much material desire, material lust, lust to enjoy through the medium of my senses. What is the cure for that? The only real cure for mundane lust is also known as kam, but it's aprakritakam. It's not prakritakam. This material world's lust is binding in this world. And that transcendental kam also has another name. It is prem. So how do you get rid of this one? How do you let this one go? By that higher taste. By the transcendental kam pulling your heart toward Krishna, then automatically you can let go of all inferior, extremely inferior kam or lust. So it's appropriate for Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur to petition to that transcendental aprakrit Kamdev, the supreme beloved of all, this Gopinath. He's petitioning to him, this is my situation here, but I want to love you in that way. I want to have transcendental prem, aprakrit kam for you. And so it's called Kamanuga Bhakti. So it's appropriate to petition like this, because really the only way to get rid of this material lust is to be able to embrace or hold on to that transcendental prem. And this is confirmed in, well, by all of our acharyas, but especially in that verse in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Vikriditam Vrajabadu Biridam Cha Vishnam, Shradhanvito Nishunyad Atavarnaidya Bhaktim Param Bhagavatim Pratilabhya Kamam Hridrogam Ashvapahinotya Chirena Dhira. The word Hridrog means the diseases. Rog means disease or sickness. Hrid means heart. So the sickness or the disease of the heart in this material world is the desire to be the enjoyer through the medium of all of our senses. All kinds of lust for all kinds of material things. That I want to be the enjoyer. And the opposite of that, the other opposite extreme, is transcendental calm. And that transcendental calm, when that awakens within the heart, that is the cure for the disease of lust, mundane lust in the heart. So now we are going to petition to Srimati Radhika. Page 279, Śrī Radhikāṣṭakam, Kunkumakta Kanchanabja Garbhari Gaurabha. It's by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. Vrishabhanunandini Srimati Radharani ki Jai. Kunkumakta Kanchanabja Garbhari Gaurabha Pitananchitabja Gandha Kirti Nindishorabha. We're going to do it all together, okay? And I'll go slower. Vallavesha Sunu Sarva Vanchitarto Sadhika Mahyam Atmo Pado Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika nindi chitrapata shatika Krishna mata bringa keli phula pushpa vatika Krishna nitya sangamartha padma bandhu radhika mahyam atmopada padma dasya dastu radhika sokumarya shristapala bali kirti nigraha chandra chandanotparindu sevya sita vigraha swabhimarsha balavisha kamatapabadhika mahyam atmapada padma dasya dastu radhika vishvavandya yogatabhi bandita piyaruma rupanaya yoganadi sampadano yatsama shilahardo lilayacha sayato stiladhika mahyam atmapado padma dasya dastu radhika asalasya gitanarmo satkalali pandita premaramya rupavesha sadgunali mandita vishvanavya gopayoshi dalito piyadhika mahyam atma pado padma dasya dastu radhika nityanavya rupakeni Krishna bhava sampada Krishna raga bandha gopa yovateshu kampada Krishna rupa veshakeni lagna samadhika mahyam atmapado padma dasya dastu radhika svedakanta kantakashru gadgadadi sanchita marsha harsha mamotadi bhava bhushananchita Krishna netra toshiratna mandanali dadhika mahyam atmapado padma dasya dastu radhika yakshanardha Krishna vitra yoga santato ditta nekadainya chapala Adi Bhavavrindamoditta Yatra Labdha Krishna Sangha Nirgata Philadhika Mahyam Atma Pado Padma Dasya Dasurabhika Ashtakena Yastvanena Noti Krishna Vallabha Darshaneki Shailo Jadi Yoshiddali Durlabham Krishna Sangha Nanditatma Dasya Siddhu Bhajanam Tam Karoti Nanditani Sanchayashu Sajanam Mahyamatma Padopadma Dasya Dasturadhika Mahyamatma Padopadma Dasya Dasturadhika Mahyam Atma Padopadma Dasya Dasturadhika Mahyam Atma Padopadma Dasya Dasturadhika Mahyam Atma Padopadma Dasya Dasturadhika Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Vrishabhanandani Srimati Radharani ki Jai. Page 290. Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam by Śrī Satyavrata Muni. And, of course, I remembered. Sudevi remembered. Okay, thank you. Shri Shri Radha Vino Bihari Ju Sachinandana Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Giriraj Mahārāja Ki Jai. Shalagram Shila Ki Jai. Laddu Gopal Ki Jai. Chotta Chotta Laddu Gopal Ki Jai. Shri Yashoda Damodar Ki Jai. The lamp Ki Jai. I just don't remember which tune I'm supposed to sing. I can just sing a completely different one. Old tune. If I sing the old tune, then everyone can sing along. So that's important. Okay. Namamishwaram Sachit Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyorukoladhavamanam Param Vishtam Atyantato Drutya Gopya Rudantamuhurnetra Yugmam Brijantam Param Bhoja Yugmena Shatankanetram Muhu Shvasakam Patri-rekhankakantha Sita-graiva Damodaram Bhaktivedāntam Iti driksvalilabhi Anandakunde Svaghoshamnimajantam Akyapayantam Tadiyeshitageshu bhaktairjitatvam Puna prema pastam shatavritti vande Param deva moksham na mokshavadhim va Nochanyam vrineham vareshadapiha Idam teva purnatho gopalabalam Sada me monosyavirastam kimonnai Idam te mukham bhojam avyaktanilai Vritam kunkalai smigha raktaischa gopya Muhushtumbitam bimba raktadharam me Manasyavirastam alam lakshalabhai Namo devo Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukha Jalabhimagnam Kripa Drishti Drishtyati Dinam Batanam Grihanesha Mamogyam Vidhyakshidrishya Kuberatmajo Badha Murtyaiva Yadvat Vayamochito Bhakti Bhajo Krito Cha Tatha Prema Bhaktim Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha Namaste Sudamne Skuradiptidhamne Tvadiyodarayato Vishwasya Dhamne Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyaptiyayai Namo Nantalilayo Devaya Tubhyam Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyaptiyayai Namo Nantalilayo Devaya Tubhyam Namo
प्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकाय त्वदीय प्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यं राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर दामोदर राधा दामोदर जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण जय राधे जय कृष्ण। श्री श्री राधा दामोदर जी की जय। श्री दामोदराष्टकम की जय। हरे कृष्ण। Here, timing. Now we will call out. Wow, it's nice. Look at, only the candlelight is lighting up. Yashoda Gopal. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Oh Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Oh Gurudev 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 Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada 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 Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Rupananga Gauri Guru Varga Ki Jai पतित पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय राधा विनो बिहारी जू की जय गौर भक्त वृंद की जय निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। So Devi, maybe the fix worked. Yes. It's a little bit unsettling to always be checking to see if it's going to cut off. It should have cut off by now. But I think I may have discovered the fix for it, temporary fix. Because it actually is, how do you say, a bit unfavorable when you can't be aware of what you're doing because you have to be aware of all of this other stuff. So it's nice.
I can't speak.
You can't right now?
No.
Here.
That's why I can't do it.
Let me share to you.
That's fine.
Now you can share from me. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Nitya Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedānta Swami Nitya Namine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vācālam pangam langayate giring. Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev. Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupad Ashto Tarashata Shri Śrīmad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupad Ashto Tarashata Shri Śrīmad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. And to all of our Rupa Anuga Gaudiya Guru Varga. And to all Vaishnavas past, present and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Radhe 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 Shyam.
Radhe Shyam. So we are continuing with this beautiful treasure, Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. We are now on the 8th and final verse. These verses were not composed all of a sudden. They were composed from the heart of Śrī Satyavrata Muni, manifested from the heart of Śrī Satyavrata Muni over millions of years as his consciousness, his bhav, was evolving. So as he was developing more and more attraction to the pastimes of Krishna, as he was becoming more attracted to the Braja bhavs, the moods of Mother Yashoda's love and affection for Krishna, he was desiring to see this. So gradually his heart was adjusting, and Raganuga Bhakti means the mood of spontaneous loving affection for Krishna under the guidance of an eternal associate of Krishna, or Ragatmika Jan. This is Raganuga Bhakti, was manifesting in his heart, and gradually one after another, they were manifested. Sri Ved Vyas placed these beautiful verses in Sri Padma Purana, and in this version we have the commentary of Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī Pad, followed by the translation of that commentary by our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, along with his injected bhav, anuvad inside. And then following that is the commentary of our Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj. And well, his commentaries are always full of ras and bhav, rasik and bhavuk, and full of so many beautiful and sweet pastimes of Krishna. And he's always refining the very fine points of Raganuga and Rupanuga Bhakti, especially within this last final 8th verse of Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. So before entering into this beautiful transcendental treasure and examining its contents, we will call out and pray to those divine personalities in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairāga juga bhakti rasam prayatnair apayanam mam anubhivshamandam kripambudirya paradukuduki sanatanastam prabhum ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods which are present within these pages manifest itself within our hearts. And now we are continuing with the commentary of our Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj on the 8th verse of Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. Namaste studamne spuradipti dhamne tvadiya doraya to vishvasya dhamne namo radhikaye tvadiya priyaye namo radhikaye tvadiya priyaye namo nantalilayo devaya tubhyam. We only have a few pages remaining. And then I have to send this book to... Who do I have to send it to? Anjali. Yep. Hopefully it will arrive there intact. I'm not going to be sending you old gulab jamuns. If you need all of those, you have to come here. So Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Maharaj was telling us about Raganuga Bhakti. And it's essential for us to understand, because hopefully one day we will come to that point. At this point, it may be Ujala Ragapata Gaurava Bhange. That path of spontaneous loving devotion, this is our aspiration, and it is worshipable for us, for those who are coming in this line of Mahaprabhu. Still, until the time that this spontaneous mood of loving affection is developing in the heart, we must follow the rules and regulations of Shastra. But for those who are beyond that, and there are those who are beyond it because they are already spontaneously in love with Krishna. And how will you know if you actually have real spontaneous love for Krishna? You won't have any attraction to anything in this material world whatsoever. You just won't be attached to or attracted to anything else. So if you're finding that you have attachment and attraction to both, then you cannot call it raganuga bhakti. It might be some kind of enthusiasm, some kind of feeling of excitement, but we cannot call it that transcendental thing. So this is a mistake that many make. They entertain both simultaneously, and because of that, they have failed to accept the warnings of our Guru Varga, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our Srila Prabhupada, our Srila Gurudev, all of our acharyas. And it's very easy to superimpose the mundane onto the spiritual, or the spiritual onto the mundane, thinking that this mundane activity is spiritual, or that this spiritual activity is mundane. But actually it will all be mundane if one is still maintaining mundane consciousness. So we want to avoid the dosh, or the fault of prakrita sahajya. Prakrit means material or mundane, and sahajya means natural, spontaneous, automatic. So from the direct meaning of prakrita sahajya, we can understand that it is naturally, spontaneously mundane. I cannot say for you, but we can say for ourselves, we have this tendency toward the mundane. So then this is naturally mundane. You can call it prakrita sahajya. And then there's aprakrita sahajya. So natural, spontaneous, but aprakrit, not mundane or transcendental. Who is an example of aprakrit sahajya? All of the transcendental associates of Krishna. They have spontaneous, automatic, natural, transcendental love and affection for Krishna. So generally when our Guru Varga speaks about this term prakrita sahajya, it means superimposing the mundane onto the spiritual conception. In other words, either thinking I'm Krishna and therefore I can enjoy with so many gopis of this world. It's very common in these areas. These ideas are quite common. Our prem is like Radha and Krishna's prem. This is prakrita sahajya. Enjoying all kinds of material desires, enjoying those things in the name of bhakti. So our Guru Varga has very, very strongly cut all of these false ideas, because just after the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so many apasampradayas, so many sahajya groups sprang up. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur came and cut those ideas down. He cut out all of those cancers and brought the good name of Gaudiya Vaishnavism back. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada continued the cleanup work. Our Srila Prabhupada was very, very strong on this point. Our Param Gurudev as well. And our Gurudev, seeing that they have cleaned all of this out, again is reinstalling this pure conception. What are the pure conceptions of Raganuga and Rupanuga? What are the transcendental conceptions? Because really our goal is Rupanuga Bhakti, is to serve Radha and Krishna under the guidance of Sri Rupa. And this was also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's big regret, that he had to spend all of his time cutting jungles, but he couldn't give that which he really wanted to give to his heart's content. And that was Rupanuga Bhakti. This is what he wanted to give. Even says, Madhur Yojvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhakti Da. He's the giver of Rupanuga Bhakti. He wanted to give this, but he felt, I had to spend all of my time cutting jungles. So it's not that this is unnecessary because he didn't give as much as he wanted to give. It's absolutely necessary, but we also need to move toward it with the greatest kind of respect, honor, care, and guidance. That kind of guidance, transcendental guidance, so that we don't tend to superimpose. Because even one little thing that is off from the guidance of a tattvadarshi can fully pull one into illusion. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, even one of the senses which is left unchecked, although all the rest might be one-pointed focus, but even one left unchecked can fully pull the mind of even someone who has got resolute determination into illusion. So to be under guidance is absolutely necessary. This is the most intrinsic, necessary quality of bhakti, to be under guidance. When that is there, then everything else can fall into place properly. When that is missing, it is so easy to become sahajya. Śrīla Gurudeva Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he said that if one is not following the pure and transcendental conceptions of their Śrī Gurudeva, they are bound to become sahajya. Why? Because the third or fourth offense against the holy name, 3, is to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. What is the result of namaparad, of offenses to the holy name? Material desires spring up. But this is by going against or disobeying or not following the instructions of Śrī Guru. In fact, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said, that is the greatest offense to the holy name. Of all of them, that one, disobeying the orders of the spiritual master. Because from that, if you're not doing that, then there is no real result of transcendental bhakti can manifest in one's heart. As that verse from the Lord himself states, if one doesn't first serve and surrender to Śrī Guru, then everything else becomes fruitless. So this one is the most essential. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada states, the most essential, to not disobey the order of the spiritual master. He said that is the greatest offense to the holy name, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. So, So if one is not following, they are bound to become sahajya. What does that mean? If mundane consciousness starts to take over more and more and there's no guidance, then easily one can derail from the path. And they won't even notice it or realize it. And even hundreds or thousands can be going along with the derailment and think this is wonderful and nectar and not realize it. That is the nature of maya. Maya means illusion. So the illusion is that I'm perfect, powerful, and happy. I'm doing the right thing, when it's very easy to actually veer off the path, especially if one is not under guidance at every moment. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada says one must be in sadhu sangha at every moment. If one fails to be under guidance or in sadhu sangha at every moment, then even all of the gems that we have already received in hand can easily become lost. And our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj gives us a little bit of assurance that if we're not able to be in the physical association of Vaishnavas, under their guidance physically, then we should follow their instructions. But if we're also not able to be under the direct physical guidance, then we should take shelter of Shastriya Sadhu Sangha, Shastra, the association of those personalities through their scriptures. But if the opportunity presents itself, we must run and drink the nectar of that Harikatha. And even if we are going off on our own, means off the path, even through reading, which is possible, then the sadhu comes, and with some slight chastisement or any kind of coaxing, they will adjust us and put us back on the very straight and narrow path. For one who surrenders unto and follows Śrī Gurudev, even though it is said that this path is like a razor's edge, One can run on that path with their eyes closed, Śrīmad Bhagavatam says, and not have to worry about falling. So, taking shelter of Sri Guru is the most essential thing. Otherwise, if one disobeys, if one goes off on their own, has an independent mood, they are bound to become sahajya. Śrīla Gurudeva Uvacha. If your guru is in Vrindavan and you are in New York, how do you serve Gurudev? Well, that is a good question to ask your Gurudev. But Mahaprabhu says, make your mind Vrindavan. If you're seeing I am in New York, then you are not placing yourself with your Gurudev. You should see everything in terms of Krishna. See that my Gurudev is sitting next to me, or here in my heart, but it's easier for us to visualize external. How would I be if my Gurudev is there? How would I chant? How would I speak? How would I eat? How would I serve Thakurji? What would I do if there's a festival and my Gurudev is there at that festival? How do I dress? Do I attend the programs if my Gurudev is there? Do I attend the kirtans? Do I wake up early? What do I do if my Gurudev is present? Then if one has this mood, and you're placing Gurudev in your heart, then if Gurudev is in your heart, who's in his heart? Krishna, and Srimati Radhika, and all of the Brijabasis, and Govardhana and Jamuna, and all of Sri Vrindavan. Therefore, Vrindavan will also be in your heart. Then you can reside within Vrindavan. But how to serve Gurudev? Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja gave so many different ways to serve. But there's also the general, which most devotees are expected to follow. There's the general, basic, foundational ways to serve, following the basic instructions. And when Sri Guru sees that you're actually making the endeavor to follow those basic, foundational instructions, then he may be inclined, or she may be inclined to give further personal instruction. If we're not willing or even ready or trying to make an endeavor to follow the basic foundational, and why would we expect or even want another instruction on top of that? But if Gurudev sees, oh, you're making an endeavor, okay, let me give you the next installment. So, wherever we are, in any place in the world, in whatever situation, oh, maybe whatever situation is going on, we can have any bhajan kutir. You can call it your bedroom or a closet where no other eyes can see you. Sudevi?
You can say it.
So Sudevi asked Gurudev this question: how can I serve you when you're going to leave and go somewhere else? You're going to go back to India, I'm going to be here. How can I serve you? He said, you should read my books and also Swamiji's books. Wait, he said you should read Swamiji's books, Prabhupada's books, and you can also read my books. He said it like that, right?
Yes.
And then he said, but one thing. He said every day, for a minimum of, no, he said only half an hour. He said you should go into any closet, means any private space, where no other eyes can see you. It means where no one else is going to judge you, where you won't feel like, oh my God, someone's looking at me. He said in that space, you should bring your Harinam Prabhu, your Harinam Mala, and Sri Gurudev. And there you should chant, weeping, only for half an hour every day, he said, weeping, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ha Gurudev, weeping and weeping. He said, this is service to me. And this is more than chanting lakhs and lakhs of Harinam. It doesn't mean that she should not complete her full regular number. He started her on 32 rounds a day because she was already chanting 23 of Hare Krishna and 10 of Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patigami Bhavatume. So she didn't tell him that, but she was already chanting so much. So he started her according to her capacity at 32 and told her to increase from there. But out of that, he wanted her to take at least 4 rounds. Sorry, not at least 4 rounds. He never said 4 rounds. He said half an hour. So even if it's only 1 round, but weeping and crying and calling out to Gurudev for Gurudev's mercy and chanting like that. He said only for half an hour every day. This is service to me. And this is more than chanting lakhs and lakhs of Harinam. Because there's sambandha, relationship. There's connectedness. There's that mood of crying and calling out. And if no one else is watching you, it's much easier to be like that. If someone is watching, then you might be concerned, oh, someone's going to criticize me. Someone's going to look at me. Oh, my partner, my husband or my wife or my whoever I'm staying with, my roommate. And they're going to look at me and like, yeah, right, that's not real. And they'll just flame throw your inspiration in bhakti. They'll shoot a flame onto your inspiration in bhakti. Even a husband or wife. My relationship with my Gurudev and Radha and Krishna is not my wife or husband's or partner's relationship with Gurudev, Krishna, Srimati Radhika and Bhakti. We can inspire each other, but there is some time which needs to be set aside for our own individual personal communion with Gurudev and Krishna. And that is that half an hour. The rest of the time we might not be as focused, but at that time we can be focused. So you ask that question. It might not even need to be 1 round. Srila Bhaktivedānta Thakur or Rupa Goswami, what was he doing? Gurudev said, we don't know how many rounds he chanted. 1 ha, not even a full hare. Ha. And he was completely absorbed in the pastimes and serving Radha and Krishna. When Bhaktivedānta Thakur, if you look at the commentaries on Hare Krishna Mahamantra, our Gurudev presented this booklet, 5 different commentaries from different acharyas, Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas on Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And each one is giving their own bhavs, their own moods, the breakdown of Hare Krishna and what the couplet means. Hare Krishna, then Hare Krishna, then Krishna Krishna, then Hare Hare. When they are chanting like that, Bolo Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Yashodanandana Krishna 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 Hare Hare. If they're thinking Yashodanandana Krishna, then what is Yashodanandana Krishna? Well, it's this Krishna, Yashodanandana Krishna. What's happening? He's stealing butter, breaking the butter pot. She's chasing him with a stick. She catches him, she's binding him. There's a whole pastime in that. So it might only be that much. And then the pastimes are coming and they're weeping and crying for those pastimes to manifest in their heart. So I can't say how much one should chant, but at that point, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Gurudev just said Hare Krishna, weeping and weeping, Ha Gurudev, like that. So we cannot say how much in terms of the number at that.
He also told me to cook.
During that half an hour. And there are other ways as well. Srila Gurudev, Sudevi asked Gurudev.
No. I mean, at that time, at my initiation, he said also to cook for Radha and Krishna.
Okay, at that time at her initiation, he also told her to cook for Radha and Krishna. So all of the... Why don't you come and just tell that, please?
He just did.
No, the other part.
No, that was completely different.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that it was the things that we're supposed to do, that we do every day. We cook, we clean, and those were also the things Gurudev said were seva to him and to Radha and Krishna. So as long as our consciousness is in a serving mood, like today I was washing the pots.
Don't move the chair.
Today I was washing, just leave it, it's close to you. Today I was washing the pots and I was thinking, oh God, I'm just washing pots continuously. And then I realized I was thinking that and I thought, these are Thakurji's pots. We don't eat out of them. We don't use them for anything. Even sometimes I bathe them in these pots. And then I just started thinking I should be thinking differently, that I'm getting the opportunity to serve Thakurji's paraphernalia. And it made me feel so much happier than, oh my God, I'm, washing the pots.
Washing pots, cleaning the floor, cooking.
So, it was just a change of mind, which will be service or a begrudging kind of everyday life.
So instead of just being mundanely conscious of the chore, you became conscious of Krishna.
I literally thought, these are Thakurjis, this is their paraphernalia, and I should see it as serving them. I'm serving them. Fortunate spinach, fortunate Sudevi. I get to utilize my energy for Thakurji. It was just a quick change of mind.
How long was that frozen?
I don't know, but that was good. It's done, 100%.
So Sudevi was just telling, if you do it in the mood of seva, then everything what?
Just that Gurudev becomes happy that we're doing our daily sadhana and that we're increasing because we're becoming Krishna conscious instead of me and mine and what I want to do and don't want to do, but turning everything toward Guru and Krishna even in your daily life.
Right, like he told you.
It's the mood of the gopis. They're cooking, they're cleaning, they're doing all of their daily things, but they're engaged in remembering Krishna. And that becomes attractive to Guru and Krishna. They're remembering me, they're following my order, they're utilizing their time on me.
Ramya said it was frozen the whole time you spoke.
Then it wasn't meant to be.
Oh.
Anyway, they got the point, right?
It's the last freeze of the day, just so you know.
Anyway, you got
I don't know if you got the point.
They got it.
She was just making the point that if everything that we do, instead of looking at it for ourselves, there's so many household things we have to do. We have to cook, we have to clean, we have to wash the dishes, we've got to do so many things. But if you just adjust the mindset from mundane consciousness toward Krishna consciousness, then all of that can be considered service to Krishna. So Gurudev said that this is how to serve him. And this is also how to serve Krishna. The gopis are doing all kinds of external activities which appear from the outset to be maybe mundane. They're also cleaning, they're cooking, they're churning yogurt to make butter, they're massaging the legs of their husbands. They're doing so many different activities, going to the well to get water. They're doing so many external activities. But in every activity they're doing, their minds are absorbed in Krishna, man-mana-bhav. And so no matter what they're doing, do you think that they're thinking, I'm massaging my husband's legs? They're thinking of Krishna. So you can make almost any activity related to Krishna if you put Krishna in the center. And I use the word almost so that we don't overextend the definition. Anjali's like, poop, it was meant to be gumble crumble.
Well, because I can't speak it again. I don't know what to say. It was a moment of inspiration.
How is my studying material stuff, Seva to Thakurji? I can't say about your studying of material stuff, but I know that our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, gave the order to all of his daughters, all of his female disciples, especially the younger ones, to go to university and get a university education. Why did he do that? He said, I don't trust men these days, especially in the West. They're changing partners so often, you can't depend on that situation. So I want that if any situation like this happens, that you're able to stand on your own feet. And so he gave that instruction. And they all went to university. And so they have university educations, but they were doing it not because they wanted to, but because their Gurudev ordered it. So when you get that kind of instruction and you're following the instruction, then the instruction can be seva. One should not put too much attention to the
external things like getting material education. But what is the purpose? Why do we do so many things in our daily lives? There's certain things that are required for us to live. If we're not in the position of spontaneous loving affection, and we don't really have that firm conviction or strong faith that Krishna is my protector, my maintainer, and I have nothing else to do or worry about, then we have a duty, in essence, to perform our naimittika dharmas, our worldly duties. Even Mahaprabhu sent Raghunath Das Goswami back home. Basically, he told him, you're not mature enough. Go back home. Don't be like a crazy person. He said, don't be a mad person. Go back home and be like normal in the world, in a way that no one can detect what is going on within your mind and heart. But within your mind and heart, always worship and serve Krishna. And when the time is right, Krishna will make all of the arrangements for you. So from the external, it looks like, oh, it's a mundane instruction. But what was Raghunath Das Goswami doing? You can look at it from a mundane way, or you can see it from another way. The gopis are at home, they're working, they're doing all sorts of external, apparently material things. But their minds, their absorption is always on Krishna. And therefore, in any situation, whatever situation it might be, wherever one has to be, one can be thinking of Krishna. Here's an example, and our Śrīla Gurudeva used to tell this one quite often. There was a Brahmin living on this side of the river and a prostitute living on this side of the river. This prostitute had no other way to survive at that time, so she had to do that for her livelihood. And she was always looking across the river, glorifying this Brahmin. What a great personality. He's always serving the Lord. He's always engaging all of his time, his energy in serving Krishna. If only I could attain even one particle of his mercy, the remnant of Mahaprasad. He's so fortunate. If only I could be fortunate like him, that I could one day use all of my time like that. Due to her karma, she was in this particular situation. And he was on the other side of the river. What was he doing? That low-life prostitute, always entertaining so many men. She's so lusty. She's like this, she's like that. Oh, what a terrible person she is. I'm so great. I'm always serving Krishna, but look at her. She's just doing all these kinds of simple activities. Always criticizing her. And she was always looking at seeing all the good. And what happened? It so happened that both of them were going to leave this world at the same time. So who came to her? The Vishnu Dutas. And who came to him? The Yamadutas. When the Vishnu Dutas came to her, she was like, no, I am very sinful. Due to my lifestyle, I've committed so many sinful activities. You've come for the wrong person. You're supposed to go to him over there. And they said, no, we came to the right person. And the Yamadutas came to him. And he's like, no, you came to the wrong person. She's over there. She's the simple one. I've done all bhakti in my life. And they said, no. You were only meditating on all of her simple activities. Therefore, you get the result of your absorption. The result of all of these simple activities. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever one is contemplating in their life, they're contemplating at the time of death, they will attain that state without fail. One is only contemplating the simple activities of others, then that is their absorption. They go there. And for her, she was only contemplating his bhakti, only thinking about Krishna. Her body had to be utilized in a certain way for her survival, but she was only thinking about Krishna. And therefore, she was actually glorifying the good qualities, seeing the devotion. And as a result, the Vishnu Dutas came for her. So the point I'm making is that in whatever situation one is in, it might be even in such a situation like she is in. And I'm not recommending it to anyone, but due to her karma, she was bound to be in that situation. But what was her absorption? So due to our karma, we might have to be in so many different scenarios. In your case, Rudra, Prabhu, you're bound to be in that situation where you're going to university and studying and doing all of these things. But I happen to know that
You're only longing for Vrindavan. You only want Vaishnava association. You want bhakti. You want to meet such a Gurudev like Srila Bhaktivedānta, Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, or Srila Prabhupada. You're absorbing your mind in all bhakti things. So what is your university thing is the external, but what is going on internal? That's the important thing. So I don't want to miss our opportunity to, let me just see here. Okay. So yes, Anjali, always Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, always remember Krishna and never forget him. In every situation, in any situation. Right? Like that bhajan says, Mana bol hari 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 bol Govinda Madhava Gopala bol. In grihe tako vane tako bolo hari bol. Whether you're at home, whether you're in the forest, whether you're happy, whether you're sad, in whatever situation you're in, always chant the names of Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Srila Prabhupada would say, always remember him and never forget him. So in every situation, especially with the situations we're bound in this world at this time, we can look at it. Oh, we have come to this path of bhakti, Rupanuga bhakti, under the guidance of a true Rupanuga Vaishnava. Then we can change our perspective and see that we are actually in training for developing the mood of the gopis. And in my worldly situation, I have all of my external duties. I've got all of these external duties. I have to do so many things. But when Srila Gurudev would tell about Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, he would be making the sweeping motion, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Churning yogurt to make butter motion, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Massaging the husband's legs, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Patting babies to put them to sleep, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. In every situation, always remembering Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes. And after a certain amount of time, one will go a little bit mad, but anyhow, prema mugdha hoye pagalini pray gayabo radhar yasha. When someone actually goes mad, they don't realize that they've gone mad. This is the symptom of madness. So in which case, one doesn't need to worry because they won't realize it and they'll just be mad for Krishna. Mad not meaning angry, mad meaning crazy for Krishna. So all is good. Yes, like that. So now we're going to continue. Now we're speaking about this particular subject. Your question has brought us to this point, your questions. So our Srila Gurudev was speaking about this Raganuga Bhakti. So he's saying, if possible, one should physically reside in places such as Śrī Vrindavan, within the area of Nanda's Braja. And then he quoted, then he said, but if it's not possible, then one should reside, if it's not possible to reside there physically, then one should always reside there by mind. And Mahaprabhu also told this to Raghunath Das Goswami. Braje Radha Krishna Manasa Seva Koribe. Always within your mind, meaning within your heart, serve Radha and Krishna. Manasa Seva. Always within your mind and heart. So now Gurudev is telling this verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Seva Sadhak Rupena Siddhu Rupena Chatrahi Tadbhava Lipsina Karya Brajalokanusarataha 12295 Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Desiring to obtain their particular bhav, he, she should closely follow in the footsteps of a particular associate in Braj. Means a particular transcendental eternal associate of Krishna. We follow in their footsteps. Under their guidance, one should engage in service both in his external form, sadhak rup, and internally, siddha rup, within their perfected spiritual body. Now Srila Gurudev is coming right into talking about Manasi Seva.
the devotee should mentally serve Sri Krishna. Manasi Seva in the way that he most cherishes in his internally conceived perfected spiritual body. Which way would we most cherish? What is in alignment with the nature of our Atma's transcendental service to Krishna. This would be our most cherished. Like Gop Kumar. He was there in Vaikuntha. He was in Brahmajyoti. He was in Ayodhya. He was transcendental Ayodhya, transcendental Dvarka. But none of it was his most cherished. Always something was missing. Only when he finally came into his Atma's necessity to love and serve Krishna in Sakya Bhav did he find the fulfillment of his most cherished. What did Guru say? His most cherished seva in his perfected spiritual body. So Gop Kumar is showing us this example. In Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Sanatana Gosvāmī has revealed this to us so that we can understand that. The most cherished thing would be the only thing that will actually satisfy this Atma. Yayatma suprasidati. The only thing that will satisfy is what is my eternal, intrinsic, individual, inherent, constitutional, particular nature of seva to my particular Ishtadev. Otherwise, one will never feel complete satisfaction. He should perform such manasi seva under the guidance and direction of the Sakis such as Lalita Vishaka and of the Manjaris like Rup Manjari. I know we read this yesterday, I'm just reiterating. With his physical body in which he performs sadhana, that is his sadhaka rup, he should serve in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Goswami, Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī, and other Goswamis in their line. Śrī Satyavrata Muni realizes that Sri Bhagavan has never allowed himself to be bound in any of his other incarnations. Even Sri Baladev Prabhu, despite living in Braj, where he is always absorbed in natural human-like pastimes, has never allowed himself to be bound. Yet the Lord of all lords, even the origin of Baladev, that is Brajendra Nandan Sri Krishna, the son of Sri Nanda and Yashoda, was bound with the rope of his mother's affection for him. Therefore, that rope is not an ordinary piece of string. Rather, it is the direct embodiment of Sri Yashoda's maternal affection. Previously, we mentioned this. That rope is the form of Mother Yashoda's maternal affection or Vatsalya Prem for Krishna. It has taken the form of that rope. So that rope is no ordinary rope. That rope is like, you can say, personification, because it also has personality of its own. It is the manifestation of this Vatsalya Prem, which is able to bind Krishna. It is no ordinary piece of string. Eager to fulfill his cherished desire or to become as fortunate as the rope, the sage begins this verse by first praying to that rope, Namaste stu damne. O rope, O personification of the affection, of the prem of Mother Yashoda for Krishna, which has been able to bind him. I'm praying to you. If you can bind Krishna, if you have that capacity to bind him with your love and affection, then please, you can also awaken that within my heart. Only someone who has something can awaken or give that to another. Srila Gurudev also emphasized this point again and again. If you only have $5, what can you give? $5. If you need $1 million, and you go to someone who only has 5, they can only give you what they have. So in this case, the rope has the capacity to bind Krishna with love and affection. So he's praying to that rope that I also want to bind Krishna with love and affection. The sage says, Tvadiyo darayata vishvasya dhamne, which indicates that Sri Krishna's belly is boundless, endless, fathomless, and indivisible. It has no limit, neither above nor below.
so no one can bind it. Hey, Sudevi.
Yes?
Now Śrīla Gurudeva is telling that other story of when Sri Krishna, okay. So once when Sri Krishna was drinking his mother's breast milk, he yawned and showed her the countless universes present within his mouth.
You said it was when you yawned.
Yeah, see, Sudevi told it just the other day. So he was just a baby drinking her milk, and he yawned, and she saw all the universes within him. On another occasion, he ate some dirt while playing with his friends. That was at Brahmanda Ghat. I still owe Kishori Johnny some of that dirt. Within his, so he ate some dirt while playing with his friends. After they complained to his mother, she forced open his mouth to see whether or not he had actually eaten any. When she looked inside his mouth, she saw countless universes. She began to wonder, am I asleep or awake? Perhaps some illusion has overwhelmed me. She then bathed Krishna with cow dung and cow urine in order to ward off any evil spirits. She called for brahmanas to recite special mantras in order to protect her child. And she also gave in charity to everyone so he would live a long, healthy life. Just see, the Brajabasis give in charity so that Krishna will be blessed with a long and healthy life. Yet Sri Krishna is he who blesses all of the inhabitants of the three worlds. And this is the speciality of Braj, of Vrindavan. The transcendental associates of Krishna in Vrindavan don't think he is God. They pray to God, Nārāyaṇa, to help Krishna be safe. They have Brahmins recite mantras to give Krishna a healthy, long life. They think of him as their beloved friend, their beloved child, their beloved paramour. So many different relationships are there, but in Vrindavan they do not think he is God. They pray to other gods to protect Krishna. And even though he is the original, supreme Lord of all other lords, Ishvara Paramakrishna, Sarvakarana Karanam, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam, still, he is the source of all of them. Still the Brajabasis have this mood that he is mine and he is dependent upon me. Therefore, let me take care of him. Let me protect him. Even the gopis, when they saw Krishna lifting Giriraj, they looked up at Giriraj. And Gurudev said that with their eyes, they were looking at Giriraj. If you cause any difficulty to him whatsoever, we will burn you to ashes with our eyes. The cowherd men were holding it up with sticks, thinking, oh, we're doing this. And Krishna's just standing there with his finger touching it like that. So their moods were not that he is God. They were seeing that we are assisting, we're supporting. The gopis were thinking we are keeping Giriraj afloat so that he does not create any difficulty for Krishna. You know, they don't think he's God. All they know is they love him, Srila Prabhupada says. So, just see, the Brajabasis given charity so that Krishna will be blessed with a long and healthy life. Yet Krishna is he who blesses all the inhabitants of the three worlds. They perform so many rituals with vows and fervent prayers for his protection. Such are the sweet, intimate pastimes of Braj. It is the intimacy that controls Sri Krishna. So this intimacy has this term also. There's Madhya and Tadya. Madhya Bhav means he is mine. Mamata means this possessive mood. There's intimacy. Vishrambena, like a worldly relationship. This kind of intimacy. They don't think of him like Bhagavan. They think that Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba are worshipping Narasingha Shalagram. Why do they worship Narasingha Shalagram? Because he's the protector of young children. He protected Prahlad. He will also protect our Krishna. So many demons are coming. We must worship Lord Nrsimhadev to protect Krishna from the demons. So their mood is only like this. Their mood is completely full of Vatsalya Prem, so they cannot see or even think or know that he is Bhagavan. When Mother Yashoda looks in his mouth and sees all of the universes, she thinks, oh, there's some ghosts or something. Maybe I'm asleep or awake or having some bad dream or some black magic is coming. Let me protect Krishna. So bathing him in cow dung and cow urine and chanting mantras and putting black spots and black strings and black kajal from her own eye. She's putting spots, black spots, to protect against any evil eye. To protect Krishna. This is her nature. That is Vatsalya Prem. Never does she think he is Bhagavan. No real Brajabasi, Gurudev said, can ever think that he is God. All they know is he's their dearmost. How does Radharani, worshipping Surya, protect Krishna? Oh, she's not worshipping Surya to protect him. She's going to Surya Kund on the pretext of worshipping the sun god. They're coming in the solar dynasty. On the pretext of worshipping the sun god, she's actually going there to meet with Krishna. She is the personification of divine worship. Worship meaning expression of love and affection for Krishna. And so her going to Surya Kund is only to please Krishna, to meet with Krishna. She doesn't exactly, she does have this protection mood, but that's more of the Vatsalya aspect. The Madhurya aspect is different. We're not going to go into it, but it has its own particular flavors which are prominent. Also within Madhurya Ras, the extent of Vatsalya Prem is there. So those gopis also, when they saw Krishna dancing, when he was bound in the coils of Kaliya, they were desperately trying to get into the water to go and rescue Krishna. They were trying to, but we're not going to go deep into that subject matter either. There were reasons why they were not able to go into Yamuna. So, such are the sweet, intimate pastimes of Braj. It is this intimacy that controls Sri Krishna. As that verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita states, Krishna is saying, I'm not at all moved by the flowery prayers and words of the Vedas. It doesn't make much of a difference to me. But the loving words or the chastising words of the Brajabasis, this completely captures my mind and heart and controls me. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Srimati Radhika, is using this word. In the last verse of Śrī Satyavrata Muni, Lampato. Lampato means cheater. Lampat. It's very kind of almost derogatory. Ashlishyava paradatam pinashtumam adarshanan mam hatam karotuva yatatava viridhatu lampato mat prananatastu sa eva naparaha. Even if you're like that, anyhow, you are always my prananath. There's no condition for it. So, generally, this would not be spoken directly to Krishna, but it might be spoken to the trees or the bumblebee or in any other way. And then to Krishna directly, especially Srimati Radhika's party, Lalita Sakhi's party, they would be a little bit more like this, and that increases Krishna's transcendental eagerness evermore. Sri Krishna's belly is the shelter of all of the universes, full of moving and non-moving entities. It is therefore not possible to bind his belly. Yet, although it is boundless, it became limited because of his bhakta vatsalya and was bound. Means because of his natural affection for his devotees. Bhakta vatsalya. Vatsalya also means this kind of, you can say parental. Krishna has this mood toward his devotees where he becomes bound by them. By their love and affection, it binds him, right? He says, I reciprocate. So their love is so great that he needs to reciprocate with that love, and that binds him. So even though it's technically not possible to bind him, and although his belly is boundless, it became limited because of his bhakta vatsalya and was bound. Therefore, Satyavrata Muni says, I offer my obeisance to your glorious belly. Near the very end of the Ashtakam, the sage pays his obeisance to Śrī Radhika. Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye. Who is Srimati Radhika? It is said, Krishna Vancha Purti Rupa Kare Aradhane Ateva Radhika Nama Purane Bakhane. When I was saying that, I was remembering Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj. Krishna Vancha Purti Rupa Kare Aradhane Ateva Radhika Nam Purane Vakhane. Because she worshipped Sri Krishna by fulfilling all of his desires, she has been called Radhika in all of the Puranas. Radha Krishna ekayatma dumi deha dhari anyonye vilase rasa ashvadana kori. These are Chaitanya Charitamrita. 487 for the first one, 456 for this one, Adi Lila. Sri Radha Krishna are one soul, Eka Atma, one soul. But they have manifested two forms just to relish each other's love by performing various sweet pastimes. And this is also based on one of the very first invocation verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Hladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatma. So it says it right here. They are one soul, manifesting two forms just to relish each other's love by performing various sweet pastimes. So that makes you think. If they are one soul, but they're in two forms for the purpose of tasting rasa, then the idea of merging into Krishna, is that really pleasing to Krishna? Because he could have just been Ekatma. But he has manifested in a particular way to experience the exchange of love and affection. So becoming Krishna or becoming God or merging into his effulgence, where's the seva bhav in there? Where's the exchange of love and affection in there? Hanumanji says, if I was offered this, if it is devoid of the opportunity to serve my Sri Ram, I would never accept it. You can find the verse in Padyavali by Srila Rupa Goswami. Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati glorifies Sri Radha as follows. Yasya kadapi vasanan chalakela dhanyati dhanya pavanena kritartamani yogindra durgamavagatir madhusudanopi tasya namastu vrishabhanubhuvo dishepi. Sri Radha Rasa Shuddhanidhi, verse 2. I offer my obeisance to even the direction facing the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, Sri Radhika. She completely captivates the heart of Madhusudan Sri Krishna, the performer of honey-like pastimes, whom the greatest yogis rarely attain. She completely captivates the heart of Madhusudan Krishna, the performer of honey-like pastimes, whom the greatest yogis rarely attain. Yadyapi samadhishu vidhirapi pashyati natavanakagra marichim. Rupa Goswami is telling, even in full samadhi trance, yadyapi, although, samadhishu, incomplete samadhi trance, vidhir api pashyati, he is attempting to see Krishna. Natavanakagram marichim. He can't even capture the effulgence coming from the toenails of Krishna. Still, Rupa Goswami is saying, idam ichchami, my desire is to always reside at your lotus feet like a bumblebee goes to a lotus flower. Manmanasa madhukaram arpaya nijapada pankajam makarande. So here, it's saying that although the greatest of yogis rarely attain even the dim glimpse of the effulgence coming from the toenails of Krishna, who is Srimati Radhika, she is completely captivating his heart. He is Madan Mohan, but she is Madan Mohan Mohini. Completely bewildering, attracting and capturing Krishna's heart. That is why she is known as Govinda Sarvasva. She is his everything. When a gentle gust of wind playfully touches her cloth and carries its sweet fragrance toward Krishna and touches his body, he embraces it to his heart and feels that his life has become blessedly fulfilled. Dhanya, this word means successful, fortunate. I have become fortunate. Now my life has become successful. Just the breeze which comes past her cloth and touches him, he feels, now my life is successful. Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati also prays Radharasa Shuddha Nidhi, verse 39. Venum karani patitam skalitam shikandam Brastam chapita vasanam brajaraja suno Yasya kataksha sharaghata vimurchitasya Tam radhikam paricharami kadarasena. When the heart of Brajaraja's son, Sri Krishna, is pierced by the arrows of Srimati Radhika's sidelong glance, he drops his flute. His peacock feather falls from his turban and his upper cloth becomes disheveled as he begins to faint. Oh, when will I render her loving service that is saturated with ras? So there's actually so much to tell regarding these two. But we will save it, because a very special day is coming soon. But this first verse by Radharasa Shuddha Nidhi, I've heard Srila Bhakti Kamal Govinda Mahārāja, she was telling about this, and he's talking about a very special kind of churna, Vasikarana churna. It's like a hypnotic dust. Any dust from the feet of Srimati Radhika is like special hypnotic dust. It completely controls Krishna. Completely. He is controlled by Srimati Radhika. And I remember reading from our Srila Gurudev, Chandravali and her camp, they're thinking, how can they cause Krishna so much difficulty? They don't understand how to love Krishna. They should fulfill every desire. That is the definition of bhakti. And Radhika and her camp are going, how can they not understand love? They just give everything to him so easily, but they don't know how to increase his transcendental eagerness, his excitement. They don't know anything about love. And of course they all know so much about love, but from each other's parties, they're vipaksha, opposite. The idea of opposition and opposite parties comes right from the top. So to think that in this material world, everything can be, what is it? Imagine all the people as one. That idea is just not a reality. It's just speculation. There's always going to be some kind of thing. That transcendental party spirit, its center is only how to serve and please Krishna. And it is pervertedly reflected in this world as how to serve myself. And each individual is trying to be the center of the world, and so it creates conflict everywhere. But in the transcendental realm, only Krishna is the center. And so although it appears that there is conflict, Srila Bhaktivedānta Bharati Mahārāja compared it to a compass needle. You put it in one point, that is Krishna, you can make 1,000 circles and there will not be one conflicting circle, not one conflicting with another. The moment you put that pin in another location, you only have conflict everywhere. So that's why this material world is like this. Everyone wants to be their own center, so you have thousands of pins in all different locations, and there's just intersecting conflicting circles everywhere. So that is the nature of this world, especially in Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, because of our selfish self-centeredness. If Krishna is put in the center, then everything is naturally harmonious. Although it might appear on the external to have some conflict, but really it's only for the purpose of increasing Krishna's transcendental happiness. So Krishna himself, being pierced by the arrow of Srimati Radhika's sidelong glance, drops his flute, his peacock feather falls from his turban, and his upper cloth becomes disheveled as he begins to faint. Oh, when will I render her loving service that is saturated with rasa? At that time, Anangaranga Mangala Prasanga Bhangura Prabhang Savibramang Sasambramang Drigantapana Patanai Nirantaram Vasikrita Pratiti Nandanandane Kadakarishyasi Hamang Krapakataksha Bhajanam. It's essentially saying the same thing as the verse we just read. In the amorous battlefield, Srimati Radhika, with her sidelong glance and her eyebrows, which are like bows, her sidelong glance are like arrows, perpetually, means again and again and again and again, without cessation, pierces the heart of Sri Nandanandan. Nirantaram Vasikrita Pratiti Nandanandane. At that time, he completely loses all composure and falls flat on the amorous battlefield. And at that time, Kada Karishyasi Hamang Kripakata. When will she give me her sidelong glance? Oh, her party begins to clap and uproar in Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe, Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. She's victorious over Madhava. So in Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:30-28, it is described that while the gopis were anxiously searching for Sri Krishna, they saw a young lady's footprints next to his. Now all of the gopis are familiar with Krishna's footprints. They can't not be. They're obsessed with him. So they would be remembering his footprints day and night. But they saw a young lady's footprints next to his and exclaimed, Anayaradhito nunnam Bhagavan Harir Ishvara Yanno Vihaya Govinda Pritoyam Anayadraha. Surely this gopi, and it's in parentheses, it's implying Srimati Radhika, because that's who it was, but not all of them knew who it was that Krishna was with. Surely this one, whom he left millions of us for, to be alone with, she has truly worshipped Bhagavan Sri Hari. That is Aradhito, truly worshipped the supreme autocrat. Otherwise, why has Govinda left us all and only taken her with him? So this is one of the proofs of the superiority, of the victory of Srimati Radhika over all others. That she is Sarvakanti Shiromani, the crest jewel of all of Krishna's beloveds. Because she has been determined as being that personality who has truly worshipped him in such a way that he has left millions. What is that? Shatakoti Gopi Madhavaman Rakita Narino. No, he's left all of these Shatakoti Gopi for Srimati Radhika. So, yes? Wow. Okay. So they weren't asking a question necessarily. Oh, they were. Otherwise, why has he left us all and only taken her with him? So in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, from the perspective of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Rupanuga Acharyas, this is one of the prominent verses. This verse in itself proves that that particular personality who had left the Rasalila, the other gopis are acknowledging that she is the topmost. She has served him more than all others. Therefore, he has left us all and taken her with him alone. So she must be the most fortunate, the most blessed, the most loving servitor, that he would leave all of us and go with her. So this is a beautiful glorification of Srimati Radhika. And our Śrīla Gurudeva is telling these one after another like this because he's explaining why Śrī Satyavrata Muni is saying Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye. He has finally come to this point where he is praying to that person, Srimati Radhika, who is Krishna's own Tvadiya, his own most dear Priya, his most dear consort. How will Krishna give me his mercy? Let me petition. Let me offer pranam to her, who has completely conquered and controlled Krishna. He's completely bound. Let me chant her name. Let me also let Krishna know that I know that she is his most dear, and this will attract Krishna's attention, and he will bless me. He will give me his mercy. So Śrī Satyavrata Muni ki jai, Vrishabhanunandini Srimati Radhika ki jai, Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam ki jai, Śrīla Gurudeva ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Well, we only have now about 1.5 pages remaining. Because of the verses, it's shorter. So we might actually finish this by tomorrow. And then we have Gaur Purnima. So yesterday there was one part of Holi. On Ekadashi they do Parikrama and thousands and millions came. Today I went out there. Usually it's a little bit difficult to breathe, but today I went out and there's still like a 1 centimeter thick layer of holy powder. It means all different colors, all mixed. It turns into a kind of chalky pink, just coating the entire Parikrama marg, and people were just colored with bright colors from head to toe. And so Holi is a pretty amazing festival. Technically it's on the same Purnima that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born on, Sachinandan Gaurahari. It's Holi Purnima or Gaur Purnima. So we will speak something about that if we have some time tomorrow. Okay. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam ki jai. Gopal Champu is good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Paramanande.
Hari Hari Bo.
Question. Who's that white pearl looking one near Shalagram in the corner?
It's actually, he's Dvarka Shila. And when you worship Shalagram, you're supposed to have him there because he inspires you if you are doing anything wrong in your seva or something needs to be corrected, that inspiration comes through that Shila. So when you have other Shalagrams, you should also have that Dvarka Shila. Not that I worship it as Dwarkadish, but as like inspiration in the heart to help me serve better.
So maybe we're not finished with Damodarāṣṭakam yet because we have an appendix. And within the appendix we have the different things from our Param Gurudev and the account of this Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam.
But we may have to start something about Mahaprabhu.
It may be. So we might have to do like 5 minutes of reading and then something else. So, okay. So thank you all very much for giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and Guru Varga. Also, we'd like to express our indebtedness to each and every one of you for daily giving us the opportunity to follow the order of our Gurudev. He said, even when I'm no longer on this sphere, I want that you continue to travel and preach my mission everywhere. So by your presence and your inspiration, we're able to follow the order of our Gurudev. For that, we are indebted because his order is our life and soul. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Radhe
Radhe Radhe.
Radha Milo Bihari Ju ki
Jai.
Sachinandan Gaura Hari
Ki Jai.
Chivariyamo
Damani. Hasta mañana. Kal milenge. See you tomorrow. Radhe Sham.